So, right, mate. What I want to talk to you about. This is my
Yeah.
first week on Twitch.
Yeah.
How long have you been on Twitch? First of all,
First ever stream was April 2014. So a long old time.
wow.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the sort of people jumping onto Twitch now?
Um, yeah, I love it. Like FM generally, I think it's great. When I first started, there was a little bit of. I think we talked about it last time we did this. Is that there's a little bit of who's this new guy breaking the mold because it was quite inclusive when I first started. It was really. It was so close knit that it was that the idea of that if anyone comes in, like we have to vet them almost like before we invite them into the group, and then because I grew quite quickly when I first started, that rubbed people up the wrong way. Again, that'd been doing it for a while, but my attitude
Sorry,
is
this is
never
in Twitch, by the way.
in Twitter. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
mainly on Twitch. Community overall, but I started on Twitch before I went and did sort of YouTube videos. Troy Parrott, get him in, lovely stuff. So I was very aware of that though, and there were some people that were absolutely brilliant with me when I first started. Work the Space, who's now got over 100,000 subscribers, was someone that sort of encouraged me to get into it as well. He was the first person that I watched, and Jack was a real help with getting me sort of ingrained within the community. And he had like quite a lot of sway at the time. He was quite a big creator on YouTube. I think he had sort of 5,000 subscribers or something like that when he first was around, and then sort of hit 20k later on that year and became one of the biggest on the platform. And I started doing YouTube again. So that was really helpful. But my attitude is so like I feel like if you do this sort of thing, you have to have this attitude. Otherwise, people will just pass you up and you'll sit there questioning why. But when guys like you and Spencer and Manny that are faces within your own right doing something else come and decide to do this like on a pretty regular basis, you've got to accept it. Like I look at it as you guys are bringing in an entirely new audience that never gave a single shit about Football Manager. So it's really exciting for me that there's going to be new people that see the game, and I look at it from like a business perspective. I look at it as there'll be new eyes on me, and that's only a good thing. And the community should look at that as a whole because it filters down all the way to if you're just starting. Like you being here will have a big impact on all the channels on Twitch, whether you realize it or other people realize it or not. The people that will have never looked at Football Manager as a video creating standpoint. One thing that really irks me is when FIFA creators come and try something and people go, stick to FIFA. You shouldn't be doing this. You should be sticking to FIFA. They don't know anything about the game. It's like, yeah, because they don't play it like you do. They don't play 1,000 hours every single iteration of the game. Like if they want to come and be a part of our community and play the game for however long and learn it with you, like then let them do that. Quite a few of the career mode guys from FIFA have done that. People like Nep have streamed a bit of Football Manager here and there and done the odd video series on it. We should encourage that. We should want that. And so when you come and bring a certain level of professionalism to it and take it as seriously as you do, and you say you like this want to learn as well, that's so good to me. And when you care about it as much as you care about it, I've said it before, it's the most passionate say I've ever seen. Like you've done it at your own pace, but I love
Certainly
I think people love that.
My next question is when it comes to Twitch as a platform, how have you seen that move? Because I'm looking at it now, and I was saying this the other day. I played FIFA for the first time probably in ages because I want to be able to do other bits as well, and I want to get better at that as well. But again, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's a story. Every game is a story. Sport is a story. But I was watching. You'd watch other FIFA players, and I actually said in my stream, I was like, "Am I talking too much here, guys?" It's like, tell me if on my own stream, like, tell me if you want me to shut up. But like that's an element of Twitch. Like, how would you describe the landscape of Twitch? Like, because it's so far ranging, and as a platform, I'm still getting used to it all. But I find some elements of it really strange.
Yeah, it very much comes down to the streamers. So there are different communities. So much like Football Manager is quite a close knit community. All the streamers kind of know who each other are, which doesn't happen everywhere. But there's not this year actually. We've seen quite a big blow up in not just English streamers, but streamers from France and Greece and Spain and America and everywhere else have sort of begun streaming it. Like Griezmann streams pretty regularly on Twitch at this point, as in Antoine Griezmann streams pretty regularly on Twitch.
That's insane.
Playing Football Manager. And so we've seen an influx of a lot of new people appear onto Twitch. It's a lot about the audience a lot of the time. So, and if they're quite like-minded with the people that are streaming. So there's communities within communities. So my Twitch community is actually quite focused on watching me which is quite nice. But at the same time, like, I want to introduce them to new streamers. I want them to do like things like this, for example. I want them to know that there's not just me on the platform. Sometimes I'll raid an individual streamer, and sometimes I'll just say, here's the page where you can see all the Football Manager streams. Look at the titles of the people and click one that you think might be interesting. Because I think that's sometimes a better way than just raiding one person, overwhelming someone with 20 viewers with 1,000 people, and suddenly they're like, panicking, spend half an hour reading out new follows, not concentrating on their game, not presenting how they would actually stream.
Yeah,
and that can be quite difficult. And you can tell quickly. So you mentioned like when you felt like you were talking too much. It's very much about individual streamers, and you've got like the top guys. Like you look at Castro with FIFA, who is like quite clearly the top guy. But a lot of streams go with the rhythm of the streamer, and I find that in my own streams. So when I start a stream, first hour, I'm quite hopped up on it. I'm very very chatty with the stream. I'm a bit too much really in terms of like the energy I give. But then as soon as my mood comes down, my chat will come slightly slower, and I can read through and I can communicate with people. And then sometimes late at night, we'll go through all sorts of topics.
So for anyone thinking of jumping into Twitch, what 3 things would you advise them, and what 3 things would you tell them to ignore? Because I think there's a lot with a lot of this stuff. There's often a lot of stuff going on. And it's kind of like, what should be the focus, and what advice would you give to people?
The big thing to ignore is how many people are watching. That shouldn't matter. Your stream should be the same whether you've got 10 viewers, 20 viewers, 100 viewers, or 1,000 viewers. Because the idea that you would change based on how many people are watching is not great. Because that suggests that you people that say, oh yeah, but if I had 1,000 viewers, I'd be totally different. It's like, well, how about you do what you would do then, and your stream will probably be better as a result. A lot of it, for people that are first getting into it, is try and focus on talking to yourself in a room. Unless you've come from YouTube, right? Yeah. It's quite challenging to just sit there and talk to yourself and talk through what you're doing and focus on that sort of thing. If you get the basics of that right and be comfortable on camera as well, maybe a lot of streamers now use a camera, like there's a good reason for it. It helps you connect with the people that are watching on a more regular basis. So be prepared to do that. Have a good microphone, as basic as that sounds, is invest in a decent microphone. No one wants to hear this the whole time because it's not very good quality and people will be confused. It's not great. So try and have like the best microphone you can have. Don't worry about who's watching. Like, just focus on becoming a better streamer. Stream in, stream out, and encourage people. I said this on a stream recently, actually. Encourage people to follow. Encourage people to get involved in the chat. But like, if you have one person come along and type in your chat, try and have a half an hour long conversation with them and encourage them to come back next time you stream. Let them know when you'll be streaming next, and don't be afraid to do that. There's this. It's a content creator thing. I think that you want to be. It's almost not cool to want people to continue to watch and subscribe to your channel and like your videos. It's become a bit of a meme, hasn't it? Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash the like button. But that is how you build a community, by encouraging people to be a part of that every day. And it's a big part of it, and you shouldn't be afraid of that, and don't think you're too cool for that. And that is, let's say, that is how you're going to build up a community, by engaging them. And
that's such a good point, because I think like in content creation in general, there's and so I know you've enjoyed the series of the process that I've got on my YouTube channel, and quite a common theme when you're chatting to these different YouTubers is the kind of balance between understanding and the buzz and the enjoyment of people going crazy in the chat, people following you, feeling of like, oh, okay, I'm like building something here that people will enjoy, and it, like that stream on Friday was one of the most amazing things that I've done in terms of content, because we were all on the edge of our seats and like in a moment, and that was amazing. But I remember thinking to myself, like, always kind of have the balance between that and if it all kind of calmed down a bit, how you would feel after that. And there's a lot of people that have sort of try and find like the enjoyment in the wrong things. And so I think you're right. I think when it comes to Twitch or anything else, and that's so like for me, for example, because I'm used to YouTube numbers, Twitch numbers feel a bit funny to me. But I'm enjoying the kind of actual like proper connection that I've now actually got with, say, like my moderators. Like, I trust Joe Dodoma. I've never seen his face. Ben, I trust Ben. I've never seen his face. Mel and Scout, I trust them now, and that's really, really nice and amazing. So that comes back to your point as well of like, concentrate on the subscribers or the followers that you do have, right? More than as much.
I say it all the time. There's too much focus in YouTube especially, actually, because people are looking for that one video to make them a big YouTuber, right? Should never, ever focus too much on not at all really on the audience you don't have. They're not there. If you care about the people that enjoy what you do, and what you'll find is there'll be more and more of those people that turn up and stay tuned and come again next time. Like, that's so important. If you try and appeal to an audience you don't have, who are you even entertaining at that point? Like, the audience, you're going to alienate the people that are already watching, and at the same time, you're not going to bring anyone new in, because how are they going to find you? Like, it's just not going to happen. So
that's so true. I think I've realized that as well. It's like you naturally do it. You go, well, that's working over there, so I'm going to go and do that. But actually, the ideas that you have that are like totally original to you are the ones that actually strike a chord. So, like, for me, it's been someone spoke to me yesterday about the boiler room videos. I did 2 boiler room videos where I took a boiler room, a famous boiler room, and I found the funny bits, and I created a new story around the characters that I then made up there. It was madness. Will Gilkey get any kind of recognition from the shift that she's put in tonight? I mean, it's an incredible story of stamina, of fight, of grit. You gotta applaud that. Though I wish someone would give her some water.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Oh God, you need to do another boiler room. It was so good." So like that, the process, which is okay, it's very similar to a lot of people's interviews, but I try and do it in a different way. And I feel like people have connected with that. And this Football Manager thing is a similar thing where you kind of I've just kind of gone for it. It's felt exciting and authentic, and you get a really nice response. And that's the best feeling out of all content creation, I think.
Yeah, and it's so hard to replicate what you had last Friday with Paul.
45-55. Oh, do you know, 1-0, that's all we needed. Get it back. Come on, Burn. Come on, son. Oh, he's just whacked it up. Harris through! Yeah! Yeah! Come on!
Like, you don't get that there's not many things, because it's your adventure, it's your journey. It's the time you invest into it that it mattered so much. A video game of you playing. I had a really similar situation yesterday. I had a video where I premiered it as well. We had 2,000 people watching along on the premiere. And obviously I know what's going to happen at the end of it. And spoiler, didn't quite go the way that I wanted it to go. But like, the chat was going crazy for it. And I've never had so many comments on my video saying, this wasn't as funny as it normally is. I just feel really sad. And people really felt for me at the time.
Yeah.
That's
amazing, man.
And I kind of knew that. And I sat there after I'd done it thinking, I put 16 hours into these 15 episodes of this season, and it's all for this ending. And I can't believe it. And I was gutted. But it was but I also think it's probably the best video I've ever done. It's 28 minutes, and I don't think I've done a video better on my channel. There's 2 or 3 that are up there that have had similar moments where I either win a league title or, again, I have a massive disappointment in dramatic circumstances. And it's so, and you're right with you say about the chat as well, like the guys that you've got as mods, and I'm sure you'll develop relationships with more of those people the more you do it.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got people that have been a subscriber to the channel or a follower of the channel for 5 or 6 years. I've got guys that have subscribed for 60 months to my channel.
Wow.
Who I recognize the name of, but as soon as they're in the chat, I think, he's been here for ages. And I've probably got that relationship with 300 people, which is absolutely crazy. But and again, it's so hard to replicate that, because it's the amount of time you put in. And it's that thing, isn't it? You get in what you get out what you put in. It's so true with Twitch. So Twitch is so much of that.
Do you know what and I wonder if I think this is what Twitch might offer me as well, in terms of things that, certainly with football content as well, often it's sort of it's being angry or shouting at something or being controversial, and that don't really feel nice to me at all. I honestly have an actual reaction to being that way, because I don't want it to be about that. And so that's what I'm kind of liking about all of this as well. Be it like winning or losing this, or even playing FIFA the other day, when we're going to play FIFA obviously loads more, is the sort of enjoyment of putting something out there that is not doing anyone harm. Like, it's actually doing someone some good. Like, that makes you sleep a lot easier at night, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's lovely. And people watch this. I looked yesterday, I think, on your VOD of yesterday's stream. You've got sort of 500 or so people, over 1,000 now, watched your VOD back of you and Lawrence.
Oh, amazing.
I've gone back and watched that video, that 2-hour video. I've gone back and tuned into it to flick through and see what you did in that video, which is also like you won't even like realize people are doing it. I look back and the same happens to me. I'm like, all right, people are following this, even though I've done a 4-hour period of this. Like they're going back through and checking it. It's so cool. It's really, really. But again, it's the more you put in, the more you'll get out. I think actually, funny you mentioned like the football chat thing. I think there is a massive gap on. Nobody's doing it.
Mate, I'm doing it. I'm definitely doing it.
There's a huge gap for football debate on Twitch.